Right, okay. Good evening to all. Uh, Now I wish to start this today's sessions. Now the time okay now near to 7:30. I share this slide. I think you view this slide. How about do you view this slide? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Right. I think do you view this slide now?
Yeah, yes, sir, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Uh, when concerned about this educational measurement and evaluation subjects, now we discuss a few chapters, right? Now today I'll moving to discuss about this chapter 7, right? Chapter 7 means the first one, functions of the evaluation part. By now, this part completed. Second, objectives for measuring learning outcomes, planning achievement test constructions, measure of intelligence. Also, the completed aptitude test part completed lastly. Now, today I'll be moving to discuss about this one, personality test. Okay, this is the area we have to discuss. Yeah. Okay. When concerned about this, especially personality test, right? Uh, when consider the persons or the individual, how about they are same or different? Person to person, normally differ, no? That means we can identify individual differences. Okay, we can identify the individual differences, especially person to person. Various personalities can be identified, right? Initially, uh, we should identify like the meaning of personality now. And after we can discuss the personality test. Yeah, I'll say to you, normally person to persons differ. Different type of persons can be identified like this. Okay, but like this means types of different personalities. According to this picture, you can identify various personalities. Now, some persons can be identified like this. Okay, they are allowed to drink, and some the musicians, right? And some can be identified like friendly one, friendly, discuss, and also another character can be identified like this, troublemaker. Okay, this is also another personality. Now, when compared with like friendly one, like opposite. Some persons can be identified like a troublemaker, and some can be identified like a funny one. Now, involved with the jokes, right? Like a funny one. And some are friendly, but best friends. That means compare with another friends. Normally best friends close to us. And other younger ones also can be identified now. Younger one. Another old one. Another crazy. Okay. When concern about, especially when you are working within the organization, how about we can identify like these type of different personalities or not? Hello? Please think about when you are working within a school, we can see like these type of different personalities or not.
Yes, sir, we can identify.
Yeah, normally we can identify now, right? Actually, when concerned about the world, right? Some think about all the persons should be same, right? Actually, the when we are studying in deeply, uh, we should love for the differences, right? Normally, some are called like assume. I think most old one or oldest one when they married life. Okay, when they are involved with the married life, some are called right like girlfriend or boyfriend. Assume our ideas and like feelings, our thinking pattern are same, right? Because we got married. This is correct. No, I think it's not correct. The because of especially when we are came to like 18, more than 18 or 20 pluses, make married. When concerned about the sex, also male and female, now we can identify the male and also the female, right? We can see huge differences in between male and female because they've got married. Because they got married. But normally they share the idea, especially among the societies and among the friends. They talk, we both are same, our ideas same, our viewpoints same, we think like the same because we wish to marry. Actually, it is wrong, right? The reason is that we should love for the differences. Male and female means we can see huge difference, like opposite now, male opposite call female. When concerned about like Sri Lanka, the ethnic issues here, the because of we are not love for the differences, we are not respect for the differences. This is the reason. Tamil or Muslim or Sinhala, right? Various peoples can be identified. Different peoples can be identified. They maintain different personalities. But no need to hate. We should love for these differences. The world may be more attractive or beautiful. For what? Because of the differences. Because of the differences, right? Therefore, it's easy to get the idea. We can identify different personalities when concerned about the people. Okay, now I'll move into discuss about the meaning of personality, right? I explain the personalities using pictures, right? I think easy to understand because I explain using this picture. And now I'm moving to discuss about the meaning of personality. The psychological qualities that influence an individual characteristics behavior, pattern in a stable and distinctive manner. But it can be identified like psychological qualities that influence an individual characteristics behavior pattern in stable in distinctive manner, can be identified like a personality, right? Personality, especially its psychological qualities. Influence for the individual characteristics of the behavior, right? The different personality, it will maybe impact for the behavior. Please think about now when concerned about the education system in Sri Lanka, right? Some are like to private education. Some are like to free education. For what? Because of their personality. The person to persons differ. These qualities, like a psychological qualities, in fact, for your behavior, right? When concerned about the education, you know, especially in Sri Lanka, right? The pre-education systems can be identified and also the private education system. How about which one is better according to your knowledge, according to your personality? Anyone can say which one is better, pre-education or private education? Hello?
Free education.
Sorry?
Free education.
Private sector education.
Free education, sir.
Yeah, Philip, how about according to your uh, point of view?
Free education, sir. That is better.
Free education is better.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. How about another? Anyone here? The private education is better? Okay, according to the Philip point of view, we think the free education system is better. How about another one? How about Iresha? And Pavani? Sorry, Iresha?
So based on the facilities, can we differ from the institution from free or private sector?
Yeah, but according to your point of view, that means according to your, you think about the facilities and other things, you came to decision, final decision.
I think the private sector also better
Yeah,
because of
okay.
a lot of technology facilities in here. So we want to implement our knowledge using the technology. It is already effect to our personality.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. That means when discuss about the person to person, now there are 2 point of views now. One, students tell about the free education is better. Another one talk about the private education is better. I can't say the one is correct and another one wrong, right? So because of person to person differ, right? Psychological qualities, especially impact for your behavior. According to your measurement, you identify private is better or another one called free education system is better, right? it depends on your personality, right? The heredity and also like external factors, internal factors, various factors impact. Now, when consider about Iresha, talk about like external factors, technology or other things. According to this PESTEL analysis, the technology can be identified like the external environmental related factors, and based on this one, normally she came to decisions like this. And another one, sometimes when concerned about the government sector or the state sector, education is better. The freely we can got these services like these things also impact for this decision, right? But actually it is depend on your personality, okay? Personality. When concerned about this Sri Lankan education system, in my point of view, when concerned about like a free education and also this private education, both should make adjustment, right? I can't say both are correct, both are wrong. Like, we should concern about independence education. Independence education means rich or poor, both can study through the system. When concerned about like the private education systems, we know about the poor people can't study. When concerned about like a free education system, some rich persons like to learn, but there is no opportunity. Both parties face a problem. According to the system of the education, that means rich and poor, right? The private education mostly easy. Entering into the private sector education system easy to enter rich person, but poor people is very difficult. When concerned about pre-education system, some rich persons can be identified. They like to learn, like to study, but unfortunately they can't enter to the university, state sector university. Both are suffer. Therefore, we should introduce like independence education system. Independence education system means it should be independence. Independence means rich or poor, both parties can study through the system, right? Okay, some important points you can write, and especially please underline psychological qualities influence behavior pattern. Influence behavior pattern. Right. Okay, now I think you all done this part. Another one, the personality, like the sum or summation, right? Total of ways in which an individual react and interact with others. The measurable trait a person's exhibit. Trait a person's exhibit. Sum of total ways of which an individual react and interact with others. Right. You know about some are working with other people, very friendly, right? And some persons can be identified, they are troublemakers. They are not working with friendly, right? Why? Because of their individual behavior, right? Individual react and also they interact with others also depend on the level of personality. Another definition, Personality refers to the unique pattern. It is unique now. Because of individual differences can be identified now. Person to persons differ, therefore we can identify like a unique. Right? Unique pattern of thought, feeling, and behaviors that characterize an individual. Right? The reason is that one student's thought or think about the private education is better, another one thought free education is better, according to their thinking pattern. Now, another feelings when concerned about the medicine, please think about. Some are like to Ayurvedic medicine, right? Some are like to Western medicine. Because of their personality, the feelings differ, right? And behavioral difference also can be identified. Therefore, the personality refers to unique pattern of thought, feelings, behavior. Okay. Yeah, personality psychology, the study of individual differences, how they shape people behaviors, emotion, thoughts across various situations. That means according to the situation, normally their behavior, emotions, and thoughts may be different because of psychological factor, right? Please think about when you are working within a comfort zone, right? Another one, discomfort zone. There are two situations, right? One comfort zone, another one discomfort zone. Like discomfort means what? Please think about when you are working within the school, most of the teachers are also not working friendly. And sometimes near the boss, like the principals also like a struggle, right? Troublemaker. Okay, assume under this situation, how? Create discomfort situation or the discomfort zone, right? And your behavior may be differ or not. Another situation, comfort zone. That means your co-worker, that means teachers are friendly working and there is no issues, and also near the boss like the principals and vice principals, all are helping to you. We can see the comfort zone. When concerned about this situation, comfort zone and also the discomfort zone, how about your behavior same or different? Hello? Please think about working condition, right? Your working behavior under comfort zone or discomfort zone, we can identify the differences or not.
We can see the differences.
Normally, we can see the differences. Yeah, correct. Normally, we can see the differences. But the personality development means if you develop your personality, some persons can be identified. They are working under same both conditions here, but their behavior not changed. Under the discomfort zone also, some are working well. Some characters can be identified. Some personalities can be identified. If you can become like this situation, that means the personality development can be seen. Okay, it's not easy, right? This is like a personality psychology, right? Psychological factors. Now, the purpose of personality testing, especially in the field of education, we are talking about, right? Purpose of personality testing, so we can identify in different areas to understand individual differences, right? Predict the behavior. We have to forecast the behavior, right? We need, sorry. Yeah. Individual differences predict the behavior. Various field like where psychological, education, business, and also like clinical settings, right? Personality testing. We can see in various area, right? Psychology, business related matter, education, like this. But we highly focus which area in the field of education. In the field of education, the personality test for the students needed, right? Therefore, we moving to discuss this personality testing where in the field of education, right? According to our syllabus, we have to give the attention for this area, not for the business like psychology or clinical area. But psychology accept we have to consider, right? Yeah, okay, some important points you can write. And also if you have any doubt or issues, you can ask. Huh? Now we discuss the meaning of personality. And when talk about the personality, psychological factors are also important. And another one, the purpose of personal testing. We can identify personal testing in various fields. According to this field also, the purpose may be different, right? According to our syllabus, our scope limited where? In the field of education, right? Right, okay. Now I think you all are done this part. Now we discuss very simple things, right? Simple things means we're trying to understand about the personality by moving like a picture, right? Different personalities can be identified like this. And after we define the meaning of personality, it's the psychological qualities and it will be impact for the behavioral pattern. This is called personality, right? And after we discuss the purpose, now when concerned about the purpose of personality testing depend on various field or the industry. According to our syllabus, we focus that is scope limited to the field of education. Yeah, okay. The next point. What are the things can be identified? The personality determinants. What are the factors impact for the personality determinant? Right? The one called heredity, right? Heredity. And another one called environmental factor. Another one called situational conditions, right? Not only three, actually, we mainly identified these three things, right? In fact, for what personality? A personality, according to one study, right? One of the study, based on their research, they identified these three factors are one of the main determinants, right? That means we can identify more, but few identify. Few means three. I want to say, when concerned about the personal determinants, no need to identify only these three. For the study purpose and according to one of the research, we identified these three factors. These are impact for the personality, right? And environmental related one, situational conditions, these things impact for the personality. Okay, please write this part. Like a heredity according to our born, and also like the cultural situations, right? These things highly impact for the personal. Another one, environmental related factors. Macro environmental related factor impact for the personality. And sometimes according to situation. That means previously also I said to you, when we are working comfort zone and discomfort zone. The environment, please think about now we have to work like a manual environment and using sophisticated technology. Mainly it will maybe impact for the personally. Like some environment can be identified, they highly followed like a law, one of the external environmental related things now. They highly give this attention for rules and regulations. Rules and regulation. But some organizations can be identified, they are not highly followed rules and regulations, right? These two environments. Normally, heredity depend on our culture and also like your born places, right? These things. Next, when concerned about the personality determinants, percentage of a person consists of his heredity, biological factors, and the factors developed by himself within the environment. The person's idea, attitude, behavioral pattern, and emotions can be mentioned as factors developed within the environment around. As a teacher, pay attention of these facts in measuring and assessing personality. Personality assessment is not easy, very difficult, right? When evaluate the personality of the student, it is very difficult, not easy task. Why? The reason is that personality depends on various factors, right? Sometimes environmental related factors, or like biological factors, and how we can measure like a psychological aspect, as example, idea, attitude, emotions, values, how we can measure? Because I'll say to you, it is not easy task. But when we are involved with the personality test of our students, we have to give the attention for this area. Teacher should be pay attention of these facts in measuring and assessing personality. Right? Okay, some important points you can write based on this slide also. Right, okay. Now, please underline this idea, attitudes, traits, behavioral pattern, and emotions. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, when concerned about, sorry, this way, I'll skip and please give me 1 minute, right? Because I'll stop sharing it again. I'll share it. You 1 minute. Okay. Right. Personality characters. That means features, no? Characteristics. Personality is a collection of traits. Collection of traits. Built which the whole trait of a person. They are interconnected so that it can't be separated into factors. But some persons tend to measure the personality components separately. In measuring personality, some personality characteristics identified by the educationists and also the psychologists are given below. What are the features when concerned about the personality? Yeah, it will maybe differ according to this industry, right? Industry wise, it will maybe differ. Industry wise means the education field or the business field. It will maybe differ. Highly focus which area? Education. Now, education and psychologists. Right. Now the first character or the feature, psychodynamics. What is this? Behavioral nature of mind. Behavioral nature of the mind. What is this? Nature of the mind means, please think about, some are working independent. Okay? Some are like to work independent. Independence means what? It is like a state of mind. Again, I'll say to you, the independence means like state of mind. State of mind. According to some compel or other parties' involvement, your mind is not changed because of your level of independence. Okay, this is like a personality characteristic. Some persons can be identified, they behave independent. Independent means like a state of mind, like a behavioral nature of the mind. Right? Another one, character. I think you got the idea, the meaning of nature of the mind, right? Characters. The person to person's characters may be differ. Static trait belong to a person's relatively, like kindness. Some persons can be identified like innocence and kind. According to their character, we can identify different personalities. Another interest, person's mental tendency. Mental tendency means like this, the interest. Some are like to read now. Normally, some students can be encouraged to read, their interest. But some students can be identified how they dislike to read. The level of interest also one of the features of personality. Adjustment, the way of molding persons to the society and environments in like a sinus. That means adjustments means according to some changes, right? Some are adapt. Okay. Some persons can adapt according to change in situation because of the adjustment. But some persons can be identified, they dislike to change their belief or something because their personality. Okay, because their personality. Another one, attitude, is also another features or the characteristics of personality. Attitude, feeling pervasive in the person, right? Attitude will maybe differ, right? We think about some are like to Western medicine, some are like to Ayurvedic medicine. because of their attitude. The attitude also one of the feature or the characteristics of personality. Okay, right. And some are like to natural product. Okay, natural things. But some are dislike for like this natural product because of their attitude. And this is also one of the character or features of the personality. Right. Okay. Please write some important point based on this slide also. And if you have any issues or doubt, please ask. Huh? You can ask. Right, okay, I'll upload the lecture materials. So, yeah. Right, okay, Pavani, now I'll start lecture materials. Right, that is 7th chapter within the chat box. Right now, I think, yeah, okay. I think. Yeah, I'm moving to next slide. I think now you all are done this part. Factors influencing personality assessment. This is not like a personality. This is clearly mentioned for the personality assessment or the personality test, right? The heading mentioned clearly assessment, personality assessment. Yeah, several factors can be influenced the outcome of personality test. Yeah, what are these factors? The one called social desirability bias. That means the tendency to respond in way that are socially acceptable or favorable rather than authentic. When involved with the personality assessment, some social desirability biases can be identified. The thing is that please concern about like a dress code. Okay, when concerned about the dress code, some are trying to measure the personality. When we are moving to European culture, normally their dress code differ compared with like a Muslim countries, right? When you're trying to assess on the personality using like this, especially we have to concern about the socially acceptable or favorable, right? That means social desirability biases may be impact or the influence for the personality assessment, right? And the cultural biases, culture, right? Many personalities tests may be more appropriate for certain culture, context, and their validity may be reduces in cross-cultural settings. Now, when concerned about the school, you know about the international schools culture and compare with like rural villages, rural like government schools culture may be same or different. Hello? Now I'll ask the question. International schools, we can see the culture now, one of the culture. International schools culture and some government schools can be identified like a rural area. How about? We can see like two different cultures or same culture within
Two
both
different
schools.
cultures.
Yeah, we
Different.
can see the different culture, right? Like some are assess, right? Like rural villages, state school students, their behavior better compare with like international school. Some are called compare with international school students' behavior better comparing like a state or the government schools like this. But when we are assess the personality, we have to consider these factors, right? Cultural biases also impact for the personality assessment. as a teacher, when you are evaluate your students, we should give the attention for their society. They live in society. Another one, culture, right? And next point, take a state of mind, mood, anxiety, stress can influence responses during a test. Okay. These things also impact both sides, right? Stress level means like, especially we give the attention for students' side, right? Their mood and their stress level have to be considered, because of these things also impact for the person. And as a evaluator also should maintain this state of mind in better, right? And the test takers, especially please think about test takers state of mind. That means as a evaluator, your mind also should maintain as like a free, right? As if you are in the stress mood, right? You can't assess like a personally assessment very clear, because of these things also impact. And the another point, test takers honest. Individual may misrepresent themselves due to lack of self-awareness or desire to present themselves in certain ways. Just think about, you know very well their parents, and when concerned about their parents, and your judgment also may be different, right? The honest level of the test taker, right? These are the factors influencing personality assessment. Okay, right. Please write this part, and if you have any doubt or issues, please ask. Huh? How about can you understand? Philip?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Right. Okay. And if you have any issues or doubt, please ask. Point wise, one, first one, second one, third, and also fourth. Right, okay, now I think you all are done this part also. By now, we discuss a few things, the types of different personalities and meaning of personality, and psychological factors also impact for the personality, and purpose of personality depend on like industry, and personality determinants. More determinants can be identified because this is not easy. But teachers should pay highest level of attention for these factors when they are involved in the measuring and assessing personality of the students. When concerned about the personalities, right, also depend on like various characteristics. Characteristics can be identified when you the attention for the field of education, right? These characteristics also we discuss, and some factors can be identified. These things also impact or the influence personality assessment, right? Measuring this measuring and assessing personality, constructive test for measuring and assessing personality is not an easy task. Previously also I said to you, the reason is that we have to give this high level of attention for various areas, and more can be identified like a psychological idea, attitude, value, how we can measure like these things. Therefore, this is not easy task. Like constructing achievement test for measuring and assessing academic abilities, personality traits develop continuously, right? We can see the differences now. Under this situation, also it will may be a very complex task, the assessment or the measuring of the personality. The teacher functions are identifying personality traits exactly, letting to develop with the correct guidance and assessing the way of its development. But when concerned about the development of the personality, as a teacher, you should give the guidance for your students, because at the initial stage, how? You should measure the level of personality. And after you can give the correct guidance. Okay. Please think about some students can be identified, they interest to read books. Assume that means some students like a hobby, no? They involve in the reading, but some students can be identified how about they are not involved with the reading, like to reading. These two personalities, right? As a teacher, you should identify to measure these personality. For what? You can give the correct guidance to develop your students' personality. If you are guide like a wrong way, this is not a good, right? And initially we know difficult to measure the personality, but as a teacher, you should identify the level of personality. And after you can guide to develop your students' personality. Okay? Yeah. Please try to write this part also. Right. Okay, now I think you all are done this part. Yeah. The personality is a complex characteristics that is hardly possible to measure it. Yeah, it's very complex now because hardly possible to measure. Behaviors can be changed according to the conditions also. Sometimes we measure their personality like it's not good up to some level, but the conditions or the situations also may be different. Right? Please think about. Normally, you talk with not students or something. Talk with your boss, principals at the morning. Right? Morning when we are talk with like a staff members and also the head, we can see like a favorable situation, right? Not like a trouble situation, but like please think about the school ending 1:30, but we talk about with same person at the ending moment. How about? We can see the differences now. We can see the personality differences because of the condition, right? Because of the condition. If you wish to obtain a leave, assume, please think about it's not like a school, like office. You wish to get the permission from your near the boss, like a manager, right? And moving to a manager room with leave keys. The time 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, right? 4:30 now. Normally, close the office 4:30, and you wish to obtain a leave. That is leave sheet. You give the manager 4:30 or 4 o'clock. How about? Normally, his response may be different. We talk with the customers and talk with like employees and involved with some problem solving issues also facing. At this moment, it's not better time because of the condition, because of the situation. But I'm concerned about the morning, but no need to give the leave sheet for 8:30 or so. I think it's also not better at the starting moment. But 10:30 or 11 is better, right? Not early or not ending moment. The reason is that their behavior may be changed according to the situation, right? When we are involved with the measuring the personality, we can't see the same personality like a morning and also evening. The conditions may be different. The reason is like this. Person is dynamic as well as a person. Okay, therefore measuring personality is not easy. Teachers should have a good training about it. Teachers should firstly train and after involved with the assessing personality. Some traits that can be used to measure and assess personalities are given below. Okay, some examples I wish to discuss, right? Yeah. Some traits, you can identify various traits now. Person to persons may be different. What are the traits that can be used to measure or assess the personality? Right. Okay, firstly, please write some important point based on this slide. And after, I'll explain what are the traits that can be used to measure and assess personality. Right. Okay. These are the traits of measuring personality. As a teacher, how some students attend schools continuously, continuous. And some students can be identified, they are work on time and good behavior, politeness, well disciplined. And books also maintain in good way, keeping books clean. Normally they provide accurate answer, accuracy level also very high. With inquisitive thinking, critical thinking, obedience, credibility, like the accountability or the responsibilities, and honest. Some students tell the truth now. Why you are absent last day? Some are tell about life. Some are honest. And their bearing responsibility level. Just think about as a teacher, you give this group work for the, when concerned about the group members, assume 10 students. One students may be a leader and lead the team to accomplish this task, group task. Like this type of students, they got more responsibilities now. They are in responsibility. Very seriously. Pleasantness. Some are very active. Some students, the creativity level is very high. Kindness, empathizing. Cooperativeness means like working as a team members. And discipline level very high, respect for the teachers and other things or other persons, right? And satisfied level, gratitudes, that means we talk about attitudes and gratitude, both should be maintained now. And some are peaceful. Some students can be identified now, they are make a trouble with other students also. And some students behave peaceful, reasonable, right? Okay, these are few traits, 23, but not only these things, we can identify various. When concerned about like students, we can measure these traits, how their level is very high or low, honestly or not, kindness or not, they are working peacefully or not. We can measure personality by focusing on these features also, right? Okay, I think you got this idea. No need to write this part. It will maybe easy to understand. Now, how we can assess? We can assess like these traits individual, assessing students' personality traits individual. Right? How? Please think about, we wish to give the marks out of 10. Okay. The tally marks using, right? Okay. The keeps books clean. We can allocate some marks. Work on time. Allocate out of 10, earn how much? Some are 9, some are 2, some are, that means work on time. Give the time period. They done this part or not. Polite behavioral level. Keep desk clean or not? Work cooperatively or not? Kindly. And they normally perform their tasks accurately or not? Out of 10, we allocate some marks, right? We can assess student personality traits individually, okay, very clearly mentioned, but individually like this. The traits we identified now, these are the traits, okay. By focusing this trait, we can allocate few marks and assume this is 7 or 10% traits you identify and allocate like a telemarks 10. 10 means this is one questions allocated 10 marks, right? On time, they are working on time or not. Out of 10, one student earn 5 like this. Let's think about and got the summation of these. We identify, assume personality traits 10. Now mention 7, huh? But assume 10. And the time display here, okay, we allocate marks also per 110. 10 multiplied by 10, how much? 100 now. 100 marks allocate. And finally, we can got the summation of these all amount. Assume the summation 70. That means earn out of 100, 70 marks. Okay, individually, we can measure. And another point, when we are measuring like this, some traits assume perform the task accurately, out of 10 earn 10. This level is good. As a teacher, you can identify some important areas, right? That means they highly earn marks. This area, okay now. But when concerned about like these two areas, cooperatively, they are not work cooperate. Another one keeps books clean, also low level, right? We can see the differences. Now some students can be identified, normally perform the task accurately. Okay? Accurately, that means when we are held the exam, they earn highest mark. Okay? Earn highest mark. Please think about like some students can be identified advanced level, completed 3A passes. Okay, and this state rank first. Island rank first. How about normally they can perform their tasks accurately. When concerned about like this, the education knowledge very high. According to your knowledge, can you say how about they work cooperatively? That means most of these type of students are working as a group or not. Their teamwork capacity very high or low. According to your experience, I'll ask the question. Now, some are working as a teacher also now. Normally, the accuracy level, that means when we are given the question paper, okay, normally they earn highest marks. That means I'll say to you, advanced level, right? Completed 3A passes. That means they enter to the state university. Or some are island first or district rank first. Accurate level, that means very high. How about their teamwork capacity also very high or low? Hello? Generally, I'll ask. Generally,
High, sir.
sorry,
High, sir. High.
high. Okay. That means Philip think about according to your knowledge, normally the teamwork capacity also very high. Okay. But actually some research identified, right? Normally when they got marks in highest level for some subjects, that means their knowledge is very high, but unfortunately, they are not working like a team. Teamwork capacity very low. But the social relationships also they keep very low. Just think about some students like Island first or district rank first or their normally the education level, the standard is very high, but they are working with others very low, right? Some are not talk with other students also. They are not working with friendly with others. These situations also can be identified, right? Under this situation, please think about if you can identify like this situation, as a teacher, you should develop their teamwork capacity. Okay, the weak level can be identified like now. Work cooperative is very low. That means teamwork capacity is very low. You should guide as a teacher to develop this level. Normally the accurate level very high, kindly work, address code also very clean. Then another part is also can be identified. Some students dress code normally keep dress clean. Okay, dress clean, but their accuracy level is very low. Accuracy level is very low. Under this situation, you should develop this skill for the selected student. Okay, this is the way to assess in student personality trait how individual. Okay, very clearly mention individual. And another one, how we can assess in students personality in a group of students. Yeah, in a group of students. What? In a group of students means there are few students here. A, B, C, D, E, like a five, right? Group. Keep books clean and work on time. And another one we can identify this is like a class also. Can be categorized in two ways. There are 5 students, so please think about class. We can identify the grade 6 or 7, class A, B, C, like this now. Normally, some are called the 5B class is better. Compare with other class. Assume 5 grade 5 classes. There are 5 classes A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Normally, some teachers talk about the grade 5B class is better. Normally, they keeps books in clean and also they are work on time, the polite behavior, like this now. That means we can assess students' personality in a group also. When we are assessing it, we can identify separate students and after we can got the summation of all the students and can be compared with the other group, right? Okay, this is the example for the assessing students' personality trait in a group of students. How about, can you understand? Hello? Assessing students' personality trait in a group. We use the same questions, but given not only one students, given for few students. And after, how we can got the summation, right? Summation, and these summations can be compared with another group also. And after we came to conclusion, like I'll say to you, there are 4 classes, assume 5A, 5B, 5C, and 5D. And some are called 5B class is better. Compare with grade 5, class C and D. Hello, how about, can you understand this point or not?
Understood, sir.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And the another method, we are using Likert scale. Likert summative scale method. The Likert summative scale is a popular psychometric tool for measuring attitude, performance, and also the opinion. Especially we are using this Likert scale to measure the attitude and also the opinion. Please, Yogananthi, mute your mic. Yogananthi, please mute your mic. Okay, right, yeah. Right. The Likert scale means what? In the context of personality testing, it is often used to assess various traits, behavior, emotions. Here, how the Likert scale can be applied for the personality testing. Normally, we can ask a question and allocate scales. How many scales normally? The most popular scales can you say? When consider the Likert scales, highly used 5-point scale mostly, and also another called 7-point scale. Especially this Likert scale using to measure attitude, preference, or opinion. Now, the Likert scale is given like this. Likert scale is a rating scale. Okay, we rate it. That asks respond to indicate their level of agreement or disagreement with a series of statements. The scale can arrange like from 7-point or 5-point. The example given 5-point Likert scale. Please think about. I'll ask the question from students to measure the teacher's performance level, right? We wish to measure the teacher performance level. We give the statement like this. Okay, one statement. Okay, one statement given teacher, right? Start lesson, okay, on time. The teacher start normally lesson on time. Do you agree with this statement? Right? Do you believe teacher start lesson on time? Now, I'll allocate marks. Okay, allocate marks like a scale given. Scale like allocate 5 grading and 4, 3, 2, and 1 here. Right? Some students called like strongly agree or disagree. Strongly agree means we have to keep few questions. And another one, assume like, okay, I'll erase this one. Another question, second question. how the teacher use like example. Do you believe, right? We ask the question from a student. Do you believe your teacher use simple example to explain the lesson? Okay. Do you believe normally teacher use simple examples when deliver the lecture sessions? Third one, do you believe handle lectures or the teacher sessions in attractive way or not? Okay. Few statements given. Normally we wish to measure the attitudes, right? Now we trying to measure teacher performance. We give like this question. How? Some students call, when concerned about this statement, strongly agree. Okay, strongly agree means how? I'll say to you this mention 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'll use it now. Therefore, I'll keep firstly 5 and 4 with this statement. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teacher start lesson on time. Some students given assume this point mark 4. And also tell about 4. Right? Another students tell about 5. Assume another questions also we add in. Another students tell about like 5. Now we trying to got the summation of these amount. Summations means 5, 5, 10. 4, 4 here, 8. Okay, 4, 4, 8. Now when concerned about the summation of all amount, how much? 18 now. 18 divided into 4. Right? Then 18 divide into 4. What is the answer? 18 divided into 4. Answer should be how much? 4.5. Okay, answer 5. That means how? We can came to conclusion these teachers' performance high or low. Hello? According to your knowledge, now what the value? The value should be 1 to 5 now. 1 to 5. 1 means strongly disagree. That means they are normally teachers are not came to a real time. Okay. Normally the teacher handling like lectures also not handling attractive way. These are strongly disagree now. Disagree means 1, 2, 3 means there is no idea. 4, 5 means strongly agree. Normally the value identified like a mean value according to this example 4.5. 4.5 means how about the teachers also normally conduct their lectures on time, attractive way. That means their performance is high. Please think about answer got. Most of the students tell about strongly disagree and disagree. Normally mean value assume 1.5. We received the mean value according to the Likert scale. Likert scale, the answer should be in between 1 to 5. 5 means strongly agree. 1 means strongly disagree. Okay, 1 means strongly disagree. Now the mean value we compute according to this example. Mostly students tell about 5 and 4. That means answer near to 4.5. But the summation 5, 5. That means 5, 5 means 10. 4, 4 means 8. 18 divided into 4, 4.5. That means your answer may be mostly student tell about strongly disagree and disagree level or agree and strongly. Normally 5.5 means this level now. Agree and strongly agree. 5.5 means like this. 1.5 means like this area. The answer can be identified like 5.5 means the performance level of the teachers high. How we check it? Normally data identify how? As preference. The student's attitude, student's preference, student's opinion we identified as a data. This is called like a Likert scale. That means data means you know about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. But we given like a statement. Statements means this is like a view. I'll ask the view, do you believe your teacher start your lesson on time? On time. This is like their attitude. Normally they tell about, yeah, okay. Strongly agree. The reason is that, please think about, we used to start the session every day, 8:30, assume 7:30. 7:30 start. But some lecturers, please think about, teacher start not 7:30, 7:45 or 7:50. That means late now. The most of the students keep how they strongly disagree or decide. That means the mean value came to 1.5. In computer, 1.5 means most of the students tell about 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 like this. Normally, based on this value, we can assess. We can assess views of the people. Therefore, we mention what the Likert summative scale is popularly psychometric tool for measuring attitude, preference, opinion, like an emotion. Normally, people identify data means like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. But when concerned about the Likert scale, human beings also identified as data. Okay, data. It convert into Likert scale, right? This Likert scale can be used to measure personal. Okay, I want to explain this one little bit difficult. How about you got the point or not? How can you understand the meaning of Likert scale?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, regarding this Likert scale, so when it's the answer coming as a 4.5 as per your example, so
Yeah.
how we can state it now? 4.5 means it's not even agree, it's not even strongly agree. We are in the
No,
middle. So how
it
we can
is-
state that one?
Yeah, it
As a
is
conclusion.
normally, okay, it is normally in between agree and strongly agree. No? Agree and strongly agree. That means when concerned about most of the students, we can came to conclusions, they are agreed or not. Mostly. Hello?
Yes, sir. So yeah, this is like
Yeah, the
now when we take
decision is not directly we can say agree. The
yes,
reason is
yes.
that not answer came like a 4. Normally
Yeah.
came like a answer 4. How? Please think about all the students. Tick. Fourth one. Assume 4, 4, 4. That means total summation how much? 16. 16 divide 4. But when we ask the question from students, All are not identified like this. Some are identified like a 4 and some are identified 5. Some are identified 3. But the answer near to 4 or 5, that means most of the students agreed.
Okay, so like generally 4.5, then we can state most of students agree for the teacher is doing the lesson on time.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
Okay,
But
okay, okay, sir.
near to 1 or 2, that means how? They are mostly disagree or not?
Agree.
Disagree. But neutral means actually we ask like a wrong question. Neutral means they are not given the idea.
Oh,
Under
okay,
this situation, sometimes we ask the wrong question. Please think about we add in, right? I'll add in the questions like this. We wish to measure the teacher performance. I'll ask the question, how many times you stay? How many times you stay Facebook? How many times you waste within the Facebook? If I add in like this type of question, how about? Normally, this is not relevant for the measurement of teachers' skills or knowledge, teacher performance. Sometimes we ask the wrong questions. All the students can keep neutral level. And also another one, some students disagreed, some are agreed. Under this level also came to neutral answer. That means when preparing like questions or the point of views, wrongly we ask the question from students because came to the answer like neutral. Therefore, when we preparing especially questions under the Likert scales, we should train. Firstly, we should train and after we should allocate the questions. Okay. Therefore, especially, how about you are done research as a subject, research methodology? By now, completed or not?
not yet, sir.
Not yet, no? Yeah,
Not yet.
especially when we are involved with the research, we are given the questionnaires for students or teachers or people. Mostly we are using like a Likert scale. Okay, actually 100% we can't measure. Do you remember at the starting point also, I'll explain to you, this is not easy task now. The personality is a complex characteristic that it is hardly possible to measure. It's very difficult to measure, but we trying to measure it. But one of the students asked the questions, okay, very actually logical questions. 4.5 now. Got the answer 4.5 now? 4.5 means it's not agrees also, not strongly agree. Yeah, but we can came to conclusion, most of the students agreed with this statement. Based on this one, we can measure the level of personality, like personality, right? This is not personality. We ask the question to measure the attitude or emotions now. Attitude or emotion. We can measure it like this. Okay. Right.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Got it.
Okay. Good. Yeah. The reason is that actually some are not doing the research also. If you are doing the research, little bit easy to understand this one because of when we preparing questionnaire to distribute among with the selected sample, mostly we are using Likert scale, right? Okay, yeah. In the case of summative scale, response to a series of related items are summed to create the overall score that reflects certain personal trait or characteristics. All right. Okay. now we discuss few assessment method. Actually, we can test the personality by focusing trait individually like this. This is one of the method. And another one, we can assess students' personality in a group, right? In a group. This is also another simple method. Huh? We are not discuss more. We can identify more, right? But you are in the first degree level, right? Basic degree level, and some are in like a postgraduate level also, right? But we are not deeply studying, right? But we trying to identify how we can measure the personality, right? Beginning, that means initially we identified it is not easy task, very difficult, but we trying to measure using this method, right? One personality individually can be measured or group we trying to measure, right? And another point, using like a Likert scale, right? Using this Likert scale method also, we trying to measure especially person's attitude, preference, emotions like this. The reason is that these views, the personal views can be identified as data. Normally data means we know why like this. But when concerned about the Likert scales, human views also like data. Under this situation, we can measure emotions, attitude using Likert scale up to some level, right? There are 5-point scales here and 7-point scales also identified, right? Now we discuss 5-point scale. Another types of personality test, right? Another types objective personality test, projective personality test, and behavioral assessment. Various tests can be identified. Previously also discussed. The objective personality test means what? These tests are what? These tests are structured and produce quantitative result. Okay. They are typically self-report questionnaire within fixed response. The one example, what is Likert scale? The objective can be identified to measure the personality. The clear objective can be identified. Previously, I said to you, we wish to measure the performance of teacher performance. We can measure the personality based on objective. The example, Likert scale. Tests are structured and produce quantitative result. Normally 4.5 or 1.5, it's not qualitative result, quantitative. Quantitative means, on the other hand, we can say it is numerical result. Okay, numerical value can be obtained, and after we can came to conclusion, the example Likert scale. Okay, please trying to complete this part. I think this is important. Right. First one, objective personality test. Right. And what is the second one? Yeah. Second one, projective personality test. These tests involve ambiguous stimuli like a picture, words to encourage individual to project their inner thought, feelings, and desire onto the onto the test material. Onto the test material. Actually, this is like a thematic that means thematic approach. A perception test means actually the thematic analysis one I'll keep at the beginning. Also, you don't know, but I'll explain it. The pictures and word, I'll moving to this one. This is like a thematic analysis one. Okay. Now, more words include within this one. Now, this is like a thematic analysis. How? Please think about, we make a discussion regarding management. Okay, regarding management. The theme management. Thematic, right? Theme management. We discuss, assume make a discussion within 30 minutes. When we make a discussion regarding the management, okay, mostly use some words. Assume like, can you guess few words? What are the words mostly discussed when concerned about the management? Anyone can say? We talk regarding management, okay? Anyone can say what are the words mostly we discuss according to your knowledge based on this theme? Hello? Some words. Can you guess? How about Philip? Can you guess 2 or 3 words regarding the management? Yeah, anyone can say? Anusha, Champika, Iresha.
The teamwork, motivation,
Okay,
Cooperation, sir.
teamwork,
Cooperation.
leadership.
Cooperation, sir.
Okay, cooperation.
engagement,
Yeah, engagement. Good.
and leadership,
Okay, leadership.
Encouragement.
Sorry?
Encouragement, sir.
Encouragement. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your comments. Please think about when they make a discussion regarding the management, planning. Like some words came to like a larger text. Assume planning, another organizing, controlling, leading. This word here now, some are larger text, some are smaller. If you talk most word, it's maybe large. Actually, we are using like a thematic analysis. The software also we are using. Some word may be large. Okay, large. And identify. Now, when concerned about like under the COVID-19, 2019 and 22, most of the people talk about COVID-19. This word came to first. Now I'll say to you, when concerned about the management, right? Assume the planning, organizing, controlling, leading. Like these things normally discussed or not. Hello? Yeah. These words normally discussed. And after we can create a model or we can create a theory. This is the advantage of thematic test. Right? It is not easy to understand, but this is also one of the testing method. The testing method means when concerned about the thematic analysis, respondents create stories based on picture or like a word. Now, when concerned about the management, I'll say to you planning, okay, organizing, controlling, leading. Sometimes talk about motivation. Okay, teamwork. But largely, some words can be identified like this. And after create a model, what management functions can be identified: planning, organizing, controlling, and leading, based on this thematic analysis. Okay, this is not easy task when concerned about like qualitative research. Also, we make a discussion with some person and recording, and using software we can analyze it. Actually, the software is we have to pay more, right? But using this software, we can identify some words. Based on these words, we can create conceptual models and theories. Especially theories also introduced to the world based on like a thematic analysis. Okay. Test, these also test involve ambiguous stimuli. It's stimuli by focusing picture, but encourage individual to project their inner thought, feelings, and desire onto the test map. Okay, no need to think like advancedly, but this is also one of the testing method, right? This is highly used to identify new conceptual model to the world and new theory to the world. This thematic approach is very important. One of the approach. Okay, right? Yeah. The another point, behavioral assessment. This assessment observe individual behavior, right? According to this individual behavior in a specific context setting, providing insight into their personality trait based on their actions. Normally, please think about according to their action. Behavioral observations, we identify he is a kind and he's a innocent student. He's a clever, like this. Now, how? By measuring the behavior. But we can't measure perfectly. Huh? You know about Sanjeev Lenin also create a song now, right? We can't measure the people now without focusing like face cover, back cover, right? Therefore, but according to this behavior, up to some level we can measure. Normally, we know about, we are called this, assume Saman or Kamal or Amal, like a student's name mentioned, and he's very kind, he's innocent students, right? Oh, if you talk about like Aruna or some name mentioned, he's a troublemaker, no? He's not like a good person. How? You can came to like this conclusion through behavioral assessment. Okay, these are also using to test personality, right? Ethical considerations in personality test, right? This is also one of the important area. Actually, we have to discuss a few slides, but by now time near to 9 past 30, 9 past 30, because I'll give this little summary, right? Initially, the summary means now we are in the 7th chapter, right? Personality test. Personality test. Initially, we identified the personal differences, right? Because of different personalities, and we define it. And after purpose of the personality testing, also we discuss various determinants can be identified. What are the characteristics of the personality by focusing field of educations, and some factors influence for the personality assessment like social desirability, biases, culture, test takers, state of mind, test takers, honesty, like this. And also we know the measuring and also the assessing of the personality is not easy task. But as a teacher, we have to assess because of ending point. We can guide for our students to develop their personality. If you want to develop their personality, firstly, we have to measure or assess their personality level. We can use some traits to measure the personality. These are the traits of measuring personality. Using these traits, we can measure individually and also grouply. Okay, we can measure it. And this is the personality means we wish to measure what attitude, preference, opinion, trait, emotions like this. Mostly we are using Likert scale to measure these situations, right? And when concerned about the Likert scale, we give this scale for some situations. It's normally 1 to 5 when we are using 5-point scale. 1 to 7 also we are using for the 7-point scale. Especially we measure people point of views. These views converted into data. That means qualitative things converted into quantitative work. Therefore, this is like a numerical one. Okay, these tests are structured like the produce quantitative result, the example, Likert scale, and projective personality test, thematic analysis also can be done. Other one, behavioral assessment. When concerned about the personality testing, ethical consideration needed. Now, you know about, we publish some examination marks or something, but this is not need to publish. It's a confidentiality level, right? Okay, these things I wish to discuss next day. Okay, now time also 12 past 35. And how about if you have any issues or doubt, you can ask. Now I wish to wind up today's session. How about, do you have any issues or doubt? How, Iresha? Philip?
No doubt, sir. All are clear, sir.
Right. Okay. Now I wish to wind up this session, and good night to all. Special
Good night,
thanks
sir.
for your participation.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night.
Okay.